Well, hey guys, get excited because as promised, today I'm going to be reviewing for you some Japanese sunscreens that I've been trying out for several months now. Loving, adoring. I have to say, it has been a while since we have talked about Japanese skincare at all, let alone Japanese sunscreen. Who here has ever used Skin Aqua UV Super Moisture Gel Gold SPF 50+, PA4+? Well, if you didn't know, this was discontinued in January 2024 this year. And in its place, we have a little bit of a refresh. I really like the packaging here with this kind of, I don't know, balayage sunset look. I think it's really pretty. This is the Super Moisture Barrier UV Gel SPF 50+, PA4+. If you're not familiar, the PA rating reflects the sort of UVA protection. It's not a perfect system, but it gives you some idea. This particular sunscreen, it is a reformulation. There are some tweaks in comparison to the older formulation. I have to tell you, just like blindfolding yourself, putting them on, they feel exactly the same. The finish is the same, super lightweight, hydrating gel that creates this like veil across the skin surface. Now, it's formulated to be ideal for hot, humid conditions. I actually bought this at Tesso Life, a Japanese shop that opened up fairly recently. Check out my shop with me video in there. But you need to go there if you are interested in this or any of the other sunscreens that I mentioned, because they have a ton of Japanese sunscreens. The other place where I buy sunscreens is Stylerunner, but it can take some time for them to arrive. So if you live here at least and you are itching to try any of these out, go there. Or there's also a store in the Galleria Mall that's pretty new called Ebisu Life, where I got one of these. They have a ton of Japanese sunscreens as well. Anyway, so what the heck is going on in this? Well, it has this block veil technology. It's designed to create this thin veil on the skin surface, not only so the filters can be nicely dispersed on the skin surface evenly to give you good UV protection, but the product also claims to limit penetration of particulate matter, aka pollutants, which if you watch my videos on how pollution ages our skin, it is one of those environmental aggressors that is like, you know, also driving free radicals, contributing to damage in our skin, premature skin aging, coupled with ultraviolet radiation together. They're like a double hitter in terms of depleting your defenses, if you will, as far as antioxidants. And while we have UV filters that, you know, protect against ultraviolet radiation, we don't really have ingredients per se that protect against pollution. The best we can do or estimate is any type of sort of moisturizer or barrier type aspect to something that would limit penetration of these things in, that would otherwise generate an inflammatory cascade of events leading to, you know, damage and inflammation in the skin, which also can aggravate underlying inflammatory skin conditions. There's an association with more stubborn acne and more stubborn eczema for people who live in urban areas with a lot of pollution. So great to be thinking about technologies that could potentially limit that. Not only that, but also pollens, airborne allergens, limit the penetration of those into the skin and the adherence of those irritating things to your skin. This is fragrance free. It does have alcohol denaturant, which some people do not like, but I have to tell you, this is not the least bit drying whatsoever. It's a really, really lightweight, hydrating, comfortable to apply, zero white cast chemical sunscreen. What are the active ingredients in this chemical sunscreen? The new formula has octinoxate, Uvinol A+, Uvinol T150, Tinosorb S. The older formula had Parsol SLX, no Uvinol T150. So some different filters in the newer formula. Again, can't tell the least bit difference though, just applying it to the skin. Unless you're like particularly sensitive to Parsol SLX, I doubt you're gonna appreciate much of a difference. It has hollyhock extract, which, you know, you could be sensitive to, allergic to, but may offer some anti-inflammatory compounds, antioxidants, may have some soothing, moisturizing properties. It also has hyaluronic acid, which helps with water retention and skin's outermost layer. It is a pretty moisturizing formula. This is a great product to use in hair bearing areas as well. It doesn't leave any sort of residue on like your beard hair, your eyebrow hair. So if you're someone or have a loved one with a lot of facial hair and they're like, I can't be bothered with sunscreens, you need to have them try a Japanese sunscreen because they tend to go into hair bearing areas much better. They talk about this Neo technology and as a way to ensure really good distribution of the UV filters on the skin surface. The product does claim to be water and sweat resistant. Just based on ingredients, I'd say, oh, the newer formulation, better. But honestly, I truly do not see or feel any difference. They feel the same. Really light and comfortable to wear on the skin. Great option for urban environments. In particular, I love these. Now, the next one is from Suncut. It's UV Mild Care Milky Gel, SPF 50+, PA 4+. This is by the brand Kosei, who also makes a really good cleansing oil that's super affordable, the Speedy Soft Emo one. But this particular sunscreen, it's interesting. I purchased it at that Ibisu Life store in the Galleria Mall here in Houston not that long ago. But I saw on the Ratzilla website, which is where I go to read ingredients on these sunscreens, they mentioned that it has been discontinued. It's on Stylevana, but it's sold out. So all that to say, if you're shopping in a store and you see it, hopefully this review helps you out, but I don't know if you can buy it online anymore. But this one, I'll be just cut to the chase, was a bit disappointing. So this is a hybrid sunscreen. It has zinc, but it also has tinosorb S octinoxate. The product uses this barrier veil technology with encapsulated UV filters to allow for not only stability of the UV filters, but like good distribution of those active sunscreen ingredients on the skin surface. It's fragrance free. It doesn't have any alcohol denaturant in it. This is a product, my understanding and the reading that I have done on the product, I think it was meant for kids. It's something, or a family-friendly sunscreen. It talks about being designed to protect children's delicate skin. It is very moisturizing, but I have to say it's not as lightweight and hydrating as a lot of the Japanese sunscreens I tend to favor. It's thick and it feels heavy. It has petrolatum and mineral oil, which are great moisturizing ingredients, but if you live somewhere with a lot of heat, humidity, it's not very pleasant to wear a thick petrolatum containing sunscreen on the face. It is a hybrid sunscreen. There is a little bit of white cast to it. It also has a variety of flower extracts, which may offer antioxidants and anti-inflammatory compounds, but again, you could be sensitive or allergic to those. It has chamomile extract. It also has calendula extract. Those things do have anti-inflammatory compounds, so that might be soothing. Overall, I think this is a great sunscreen option if you are looking for something that's like really moisturizing, like you have dry skin, you have an impaired skin barrier, but you want sun protection as well for daytime use. I think this would be a great option. However, for people, especially in the US, who have only ever maybe used American sunscreens, and you've heard all of these great things about Japanese sunscreens, how much more cosmetically elegant they are. If you say go into a shop that sells Japanese sunscreens and you buy this, I think you are going to be a little underwhelmed. You're going to be like, all right, maybe it is a little better, but it still feels heavy, it still feels greasy. I don't get the hype behind Japanese sunscreen. So this is not the one to try out for those seeking the aesthetic benefits of Japanese sunscreens, the cosmetic elegance. This is not it. Because in my opinion, as someone who tries sunscreen every day, all day, I mean, like, there are other hybrid sunscreens that you buy here in the US that are a lot more hydrating and lightweight, non-greasy, feel a lot more comfortable on the skin compared to this. I just think, like, if I were living in Japan, I would not hesitate to buy this and use it and recommend it. But you see what I'm saying? For an American person wanting to try out Japanese sunscreens, going out of their way to source them from either online or, if you happen to have one of these shops, and especially if you're new to Japanese sunscreens, don't go with this one because it's just not really bringing that that uniqueness in my opinion, but it is a good product. It's good for sensitive skin. It's good for dry skin as well. All right, now this one is not new to me, but there have been newer reiterations. And so this is the newest iteration, I believe. It's Nivea's UV Super Water Gel. I have always liked this product. I've tried it a couple of times over the years. It's not water or sweat resistant. It doesn't claim to be. It has a PA rating of 3, whereas every other sunscreen in this review is a PA rating of 4. It is SPF 50, but I view this more as an everyday sunscreen for people who hate sunscreen because it's really, really comfortable. I love it. Easy to apply, almost feels like a little burst of hydration, not the least bit greasy or shiny whatsoever. It's another one that is absolutely perfect for people with facial hair. Like, this is a go-to facial hair recommendation for people. Sunscreen, like if you want to get somebody to get in the habit of sunscreen, this is one that a lot of people end up being like, oh, I actually don't mind using that. This one has geranium extract in it, which may also have some anti-inflammatory, antioxidant compounds in it, but if you're like allergic to anything in that, extract is kind of a bit of a nebula, you know, a bit of an unknown, because there might be compounds in there that cross-react with existing allergies that you might have. But just to be aware that that is in there, but it might also be offering something of benefit to the formula. Love, love, love a pump package. I've talked about this ad nauseum over the years, how much I love sunscreens in a pump like this. I just find that they're a lot easier to use, and I absolutely adore this kind of cap on the pumps because you can throw this in your bag and not have it get squeezed all over the place. It's such a good design. Love it. Highly recommend this one. It's great as an everyday moisturizer, especially if you have oily skin. I think you'll like this. And last but not least, I finally gave the Anessa Perfect UV Sunscreen Skincare Milk another try. I believe this is the latest iteration of this sunscreen. It's one of the most popular Japanese sunscreens. And I think I tried it out several years ago and was like, well, you know, it does have fragrance in it, which is not my preference. But I have to say, I gave it another try, and I get why people like it so much. So the fragrance is like this sort of fruity, floral. It doesn't linger, which I appreciate, but it has a really nice finish to it. Now, it's a hybrid sunscreen. So it has zinc, it has titanium dioxide, but it also has octocrylene, octisalate, uvinol A+, uvinol T150, homosalate, and tinosorb S. So the castiness to this is significantly less than the other hybrid sunscreen, the Suncut. And I don't know if it's because the formula has more, you know, more variety of active sunscreen ingredients. I don't know. But this one, the cast is significantly less. And it goes on really easily. It's really, really comfortable. And I was reading, this is really interesting. It has this auto repair technology. Sounds like, is it gonna, you know, put air in my tire? But really what this is great in a humid climate. Like I would love to see more on this technology that they have in this. Allegedly, it activates in high humidity. Hello. Above 78% humidity or temperatures above 28 degrees Celsius. It kind of has some sort of technology that activates to improve the durability of the product on the skin so it doesn't melt off. It claims to be water and sweat resistant 80 minutes. This is like some of the others. This is intended to also create this kind of veil, this kind of shield to protect from particulate matter, aka pollution, as well as pollens and aeroallergens from settling on the skin and causing irritation and contributing to that inflammatory cascade. So I really like sunscreens talking about that film property. To what extent it's unique to these, like do sunscreens here in the US or elsewhere in the world, you know, they all have these film forming properties to them so that they stay on the skin surface. But are those film formers also offering us some protection in terms of limiting penetration of aeroallergens, particulate matter pollution into the skin? I don't know. You know, that's the goal. That's the goal with these. And these are cosmetic claims here with regards to the particulate matter. So we kind of have to take them with a grain of salt, but it is really interesting and something that is desirable for a sunscreen to be offering. Because think about it, you're gonna be wearing these kinds of things when you're spending time outdoors. You know, maybe you commute by foot in an urban area, and so you've got not just UV that you have to think about, but a lot of other things that could be aggravating your skin. So I like that messaging and, you know, in theory, that technology, if it actually offers what it claims to offer. This also has dipotassium glycyrrhizate, which comes from licorice root and is anti-inflammatory, good for redness, and may help also with hyperpigmentation. So it's a good ingredient to have in a sunscreen for people who have who are seeking to improve just overall complexion and evenness of skin tone. You've got the UV protecting properties, which are essential for evening out skin tone, and then you have that licorice root in there as well, which may offer some benefit. And this particular formula also has purple tea extract. Now, teas are well known to be rich in polyphenols, antioxidants. Applying them topically is compelling as a strategy to reduce damage from UV exposure when coupled with sun protection. So that's also a really desirable, you know, thing to have in here. It has soluble collagen, which is not gonna, you know, replace collagen in your skin, but is hydrating. It's a humectant, so it helps improve water content in skin's outermost layer. So I've got to say, I get why this is popular, but honestly, if you're allergic to fragrance, just try the Skin Aqua Super Moisture Barrier UV Gel or the Nivea one. I think you would like them. This is a hybrid sunscreen though, so it's got mineral and chemical in one formula, but these are chemical sunscreens. This is a hybrid sunscreen as well, but this one is one that did not blow me away. I would not repurchase this. It's very thick, very thick. All right, y'all, that's a roundup of these sunscreens. Have you guys tried these? They have been great in the humidity, especially with the exception of that Suncut one. It's not the most comfortable thing to wear in high heat conditions, but the others have been absolutely fantastic this summer because it has been brutal here. Hopefully wherever you are, you're having a great last legs of summer. But if you guys enjoyed this video, on the end slide, I'm actually going to put my top body sunscreen recommendations for summer, but you know, and beyond. So go ahead and check that one out next if you missed it. But if you guys like this video, give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and as always, don't forget, sunscreen and subscribe. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Bye.